YOLO composing gloves here, and today we're doing a from the ground up of phase plant. In this video, I just want to explain why you should learn phase plant, like why even get phase plant in your arsenal, and also what you need to know going into this series. So I have a quick track here just as a demo to sort of just show you what phase plant can do. It's using a bunch of presets. It's not been mixed. It's not even been sent to the mixer. So it's literally just phase plant. And you will see that it's got some edges when it comes to the effect category. But yeah, everything from the kick to the snare, all of it is being done inside of phase plant. It's just a short, fast loop. Let me play it for you. So there you go. It was not very much time at all. It was really fast because the presets are pretty dang good. So, okay, why learn phase plant? What's so cool about it? I think phase plant is the next major innovation that's happened in quite a while, honestly. I think Serum was the last one, and this is the next one. Reactor 6, also I sort of hold there with their blocks integration and some of the things they've done there. But this is so much easier to use, and honestly, it's becoming one of my favorite synths, especially for how efficient it is. Like I have a bunch of instances here, and I'm not having a hard time with the CPU at all right now. So phase plant allows you to load up arbitrary sources. That's the first thing that's really crazy. You can load up some oscillators, noise, samples, and wavetables. You can have these as many as you want. The wavetables are extremely comparable to other synthesizers, like scary powerful in here. This thing is gonna get its own video. But just some crazy powers. And what really makes it so cool is the ability to just modulate basically anything at the audio rate. You can just send things to modulate other things, and you can load these things up arbitrarily. Imagine like a massive plus a serum where you can load up as many of anything that you want anywhere and have multiple chains going. Like I don't have one here with some sequences, but check this out. Let me go in and just show you a couple presets. Oh, they also have a very useful tutorial section if you want to just get going on your own. But if we come into sequences, like let's just pick, here we go, sequence with drums. Let's check it out. So there are people, by the way, the sound designers in here, like look at some of these names, like holy crap, right? So the sound designers are very, very good. The presets are incredible. Every single one of them is awesome, which is something I definitely can't say about some other synths that seem to just pump presets out for fun. As well as just the way you browse them is really nice. But we have the ability to just do these crazy sequences with the LFOs. And if we look here, the LFOs are a lot more than what you would typically think of when you see an LFO. Because at first, you think of something that just oscillates regular like. Nah, this is like a whole nother deal. Let me show you a couple more presets that I think are just hilarious. I just think they're funny. If you go into the effects category, they've got like a police siren and a helicopter coming after you. And the helicopter pans. That's so great. One of my personal favorites is the dial up. Okay, so let's go for some more musical ones. So in the leads, there's one in here that I really like called Flutophone. So the ability to load up arbitrary sources and the sheer capacity to just process stuff and push it out in any number, because you can have them in groups. Like in the sequence patch, you can have like a kick, a snare, and a whole separate sound source. It's basically like you have multiple patches in the same thing. And you just load these up from scratch. So you can have, as many samplers, you can send the modulation freely. And then if we come over to the lanes, you can load up each of their snap-in plugins. And this is what just opens it up to a whole new world of processing. And you can just have these really complicated chains that do exactly what you want, and you can just mix them in. And this is really powerful. Like imagine like a massive plus a serum where you can load up all the sound sources and you can load up all the effects you want and put them in any order you want and send them and mix them in any way you want. That's basically what's here. What blows my mind a little bit is how this is like 3 windows basically. You have this window, and this window, and things are really easily collapsible. Like I can just collapse the groups and work on the ones that I want to work on. And yeah, you can rename stuff. Like, I don't know, if this was a snare, we could call it snare so we know what we're touching. And so that's really cool. They also have the macro knobs, kind of a must have. And just the modulation again is outrageous. So here you load up your sources. You can also add some filter and distortion since that can be kind of useful to have in the middle of your chains. You can then bust these out to specific lanes, which can go here through your own processes. On top of it, down here, you have your modulation sources. So these are like your envelopes and your LFOs are the 2 big ones you're going to be using. But they have a couple sort of out of the box ones. And they're looking at adding some more. There's quite a few on this one. They're looking at adding more and more utilities. Like they're basically just going to keep making this thing until it's amazing. So that's the reason why you want to learn it. It's just a next level synthesizer. Like they've taken basically all the best ideas and implemented them in a way that is just, in my opinion, currently the best way. It's a little crazy. So one other thing I want to show you, that just to show you how much the developers really care about this product. If we come up here, there's a freaking Phase Invaders game, not Space Invaders, Phase Invaders. It's just wild. Like this is crazy. Also, if you click the information, they have like credits and a bunch of other things. Like this just speaks sort of volumes to the atmosphere that's going on here. And if you go on the Discord too, the Discord is very active, and so you can check that out as well. But anyways, we're going to be doing a from the ground up on this. What do you need to know? You don't need to know all that much. I'm going to be covering things from the ground up. I do recommend you've checked out the Sound and Synth Basic series because I'm going to be referencing concepts like envelopes without explaining too much about what an envelope is. I'm going to be focusing more on demonstrating things working instead of being like an online manual. Like it'll kind of be like an online manual, but it'll be more of demonstrations of musical ideas as opposed to just technical information, which is what I've tended to do in the past, and I really want to move away from that. And that's sort of the plan. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any recommendations, let me know. I'm really excited to do this with you. Now you might be wondering, a synth like this, how much is this going to cost? Because that's definitely something you should think about. You can buy it outright. I actually don't know the price, but I do know they have a rental plan for $10 a month, which is pretty freaking cool. So it's a very affordable plan. If we come in here, let me just show you a couple more presets so you get the idea. My big keyboard's back there, and that's what I've been playing it on. So I feel a little ripped off by playing this small one, but I don't want to turn my back to you. So let's just go ahead. Let's check out the bottle slice. Let's go down an octave. Let's go for Jazzy Bella. Let's dig through the pads folder. Chrono sampler. They have this one demonstrates some of the sampler capabilities here, which are really cool. Let's go through, just show off a couple more. We have Plex risers. The sequences are really impressive. I think I already showed that one. Let's go through some of the leads because I know some people are going to want to know more about those. So I'm using the lead bass in the track I showed you earlier. I'm not even messing with the tonal options. Usually there's 3 or 4 available. But the raw sounds themselves are just so good. Part of the reason is just the sheer amount of effect processing you're allowed to do. Interesting. This one has the best description of all of them. This does sound like really low. If you have any questions about this, of course, let me know. Drop your recommendations, comments, questions, inquiries, insults, what you had for breakfast. If you had a smoothie in the last week, you should probably, that could be important. Subscribe and have a blessed day.